This is like a little warning to click off this video if you're sensitive to topics of like cancer and death, because I'm going to be explaining like my entire story about how I lost my mom. So yeah, I figured me talking would be easier than writing a bunch of texts. So uh, basically what happened was my stepfather, my mom's husband, passed away September 3rd, 2023 of stage 4 esophagus cancer. He fought really hard, but sadly it didn't work. So my brother told my mom that she could just move to Newfoundland with him and just live with him because he had a apartment in his basement that she could live in and just start her life over, because that was going to be Mom and Daryl's retirement plan anyways. So mom ended up doing that. She started a new life in November of 2023. Um, and things were going great. She ended up meeting this new guy that she was kind of chatting with, and she was over at his house one day in July. Um, and she ended up falling down the stairs and breaking her back. So, but when they did the x-rays, they noticed that there was a tumor on her spine. And, hi Luna, my cat's trying to comfort me because I've been crying. Um, basically, that happened. So I got a text from my mom saying what had happened. And, she told me what was going on. She was waiting for a biopsy to see like if the tumor was cancerous. So I said, okay, well just let me know. I'll have my phone on me at work. Like I'll have it on vibrate, so I'll feel it on my pocket. She goes, okay. So I go to work the next day. I work retail. I'm on the cash registers, and like it's a really busy day. We're short staffed, so I'm working my butt off. But like I'm still. Hi Marble. Both my cats are trying to comfort me now. Hi buddy. Um, basically I'm working and my supervisor comes up to me and she's taking me off my register and she's like, go to the office, and I'm like, what? She's like, just go to the office. So I go to my boss's office and he's sitting there and he gets up and he pulls out a chair and he goes, sit down. So I sit down and he's like, well, C called. And I go, oh no, C I'm using for my sister-in-law. I'm not using her actual name due to privacy. um, Basically, she called and he said she was going to call back. She just wanted to make sure I was in the office. So we wait and she ends up calling back, and I find out that my mom has stage 4 liver cancer. It's in her lymph nodes, and I think it was in her spine as well because of the tumor. And I was absolutely devastated because I had just gotten over the whole death situation with my stepfather. And basically I was heartbroken. I sat in his office and I bawled. Like I was ugly crying. Like it was horrible. Like I felt like the whole world was ending because I couldn't deal with it. So he ended up driving me home. I cried for a couple hours at home, ended up falling asleep for a while, and then I woke up to a text message from my brother, and he's like, hey, when you have a second, can you call me? So I cleaned myself up a little bit and I worked up the energy to call him. And he's like, okay, so what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. Like, this is a lot to process. He goes, well, I'll be coming through Nova Scotia, because my brother was in Ontario at the time because he's a trucker and he was taking a load to Ontario. He's like, well, I'll be in Nova Scotia this date if you want me to come pick you up and you can come see mom. Like, I'll talk to your boss and everything for you and we'll arrange that. So we did. He picked me up. I ended up spending a week in the hospital with my mom on a pull-out couch. I hardly ever left that hospital other than to go across the street to McDonald's because she was always craving chicken nuggets and chocolate milk because that was like her favorite thing to get from there. um, Sorry, it's just a little happy memory. Or to go to the grocery store that was on the other side. So we did that. My aunt, my mom's best friend of God knows how long, I don't even remember how long they've known each other. She ended up coming to visit, so I just stayed in mom's apartment while my aunt was there, so then they could have some time together. So I went to dinner at C's parents' house with my brother, her, and her parents, obviously. And I looked at my brother and I'm like, would I be able to move into mom's apartment? And my brother looked at me and he goes, that is not a problem. Like, you can do that. Like, I have no problem with that. So, I went home a couple days later back to Nova Scotia. I told my dad everything that's going on, and he was fully supportive of the situation. So I ended up packing my stuff, and my brother came through with his truck again, picked up all my stuff, and drove me to Newfoundland. And I moved into my mom's apartment. I spent a lot of time at the hospital, and mom's condition just got worse and worse. She ended up falling trying to go to the washroom one day because of her broken back. She was trying to get herself into the wheelchair, but she ended up pushing the wheelchair away by accident. I guess the brakes or something weren't on properly. Because my mom was very stubborn. She had to do everything on herself. So she hardly ever asked for help, even though she should have, in my opinion, in that situation. But hey ho, it happened. Um, then the doctors were like, uh, well, your mom can go home for a bit if she wants. Like, her condition's not worsening, but it's not getting any better. But we all know that she wants to go home for a little bit. So I ended up being her primary caregiver for that. Like, I had a hospital bed in the living room, I had a wheelchair, I had everything. Like, I had a shower chair, I had everything she needed. Um, so there was that. I was giving her medications, but I noticed that mom was starting to act funny. Mom started hallucinating, and it was absolutely terrifying because I had no idea what was going on. Like, this has just started out of the blue. Ever since mom's fall, she had to have a catheter put in, so then she wouldn't have to constantly get up to go to the washroom. So, we found out that mom ended up having a UTI because of the catheter, and that was causing her hallucinations, and that really scared her because her best friend, well, one of her best friends, passed away when I was younger because she had a really bad UTI, and it ended up making her really sick, and she passed away because of it. So thankfully we caught it in time, and she was able to get medicated for it. And so one day mom was getting out of the wheelchair back into her bed, but I was helping her. But when she went to put her arms on the arms of the wheelchair to push herself up, she ended up breaking her left arm up by the shoulder. Her bone snapped in half and went beside each other. Like, you could actually see it in her arm. I know, really gross. But I was panicking. I didn't know what to do. Mom's screaming. She's telling me to help her, but I can't help her. She's too heavy for me to move by myself. Like, so I'm panicking. She's like, call an ambulance, call an ambulance. And I had never called an ambulance before in my life, so I'm freaking out. I'm trying to call 911. I'm trying to talk to this operator. The service in my area absolutely sucks because I live basically in the middle of nowhere, in a small little town off the highway. And I'm trying to talk to this 911 operator. Mom's screaming in the background. Thankfully, he ended up understanding what I needed, and an ambulance came. But while I was waiting, I'm crying, I'm panicking, I'm having a full-blown anxiety attack. I'm trying to think straight, but I can't. So I call C, and I'm like, I know you're at work, but can you come? Can you come home? She goes, what's going on? I'm like, can you just come home? So she ends up coming home, and then not much longer after she comes home, the ambulance shows up and they take mom away. And so C, and her mom, like C's mom, end up driving to the hospital, which is like half an hour drive behind the ambulance. Um, and mom's in the hospital room, and that's when I found out her arm was broken. They could just tell by looking at it, so they put mom's arm in a cast. And mom's hallucinations were getting a little worse, but she was doing okay. We brought up her favorite meal from McDonald's to cheer her up a little bit, and she was happy about that. So unfortunately, after that, mom ended up having to stay in the hospital. So I spent a lot of time in my hospital. In the hospital, I would spend um, from the start of visiting hours to like after visiting hours with her. I just spent a lot of time with her. Sadly, her hallucinations started getting a lot worse to the point that she didn't know who I was anymore, and she would forget that as well. Like, her hallucinations were bad, her memory was bad. It was horrible. Um, she kept picturing two black figures, which she had no idea who they were, but to her they were comfort. So, I was concerned because I took it as a sign that it was my stepfather and her father. Now, my mom's father, my grandfather, passed away when I was 3 of brain cancer. He had, I don't know how long he had had it or anything because I was 3 when he passed away. Um, so the only thing mom knew about these figures is that they were male, and that was the only thing that came to mind when she said that because they wouldn't leave her alone, and she felt so much comfort in these two figures that I couldn't see. So that was my only explanation for that. So, mom spends her time in the hospital, her condition worsens, and she keeps asking me all these questions like, who are you? Or like, have you have you seen this person? And I would, it just broke my heart every time I was there, or she would be laying in her bed and she'd be having conversations with people that weren't there, and it hurt a lot to see because I knew she was declining quite fast. Then, at the start of November, she ends up getting put back into the palliative care room where she originally was, but it was the room down the hall a little bit from the original one she was in. Um, sorry. Um, and that's when I spent more time with mom. Her health was really bad. Her face was starting to sink in a little bit. She wasn't eating as much. Um, it was just really hard to watch. She started to not be able to talk anymore. She spent most of her time sleeping. Um, about 3 days before she passed away, I was in the hospital room with her, and sorry, I was in the hospital room with her. I was sitting there holding her hand, and I told her I love her. She looked me dead in the eye. She didn't say it properly, but I knew she said it back. And I broke down crying. And I was just praying that she would last at least a couple more days. Because my aunt and my other aunt were coming from Ontario to come see her before she passed away. So, a couple days go by. I'm sitting. So, the palliative care room had the main room where the patient is, and there's a room attached to it for like people to like sit in if you have like a larger like group. So C and I are sitting in this room with my brother, and my brother is a diabetic, and he's like, well, I'm gonna have to go get something to eat soon because I can't go without eating for a long period of time because we knew that mom wasn't gonna last much longer, and we're sitting here waiting for my aunts, and mom's breathing was all over the place. She's hooked up to a heart monitor, and it's just terrifying. Mom can't open her eyes. Her breathing is so heavily, and it's just because we put her in, I don't remember what it was called. It was like palliative sedation or something like that. Like the day before, and she looked so comfortable other than her breathing. So, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm listening to her breathing, even though I'm not in the same room with her. And my brother ends up leaving to go get lunch, and he makes it about 10 seconds down the hall, and I come to the realization I can't hear Mom breathing anymore, I look at C and I just start crying, and C walks into the room and she calls me in. She goes, she's gone. And I just start crying and I can't stop crying. And I'm like, well, we gotta call my aunts because they're on their way here and she's already gone. They're like half an hour away. So we end up calling my aunts, and one of them picks up, and C tells them that Mom's gone, and I could just hear my mom's best friend in the background bawling her eyes out. It was honestly very heartbreaking. And so the nurses come in. One of the ones that was really nice to me, she saw how much I took care of my mom and that I could, and I was always there. And she always comforted me when she saw I was crying. She was a real sweet lady. Um, she came and she hugged me and she told me everything was gonna be okay. And so, sorry, I gotta catch my breath real quick. They end up making Mom look a bit more presentable. My aunts end up showing up and they go into the room and they say their goodbyes. I wasn't ready to leave yet. We sat and we talked in the other room, not the one with Mom, but we were sharing stories and stuff. And when it was time to go, I didn't want to leave. I stood in the room with my mom's best friend. We were saying our goodbyes, and I couldn't bring myself to leave. I knew that I had to leave, but I didn't want to. I sitting there thinking in my head that everything's gonna be okay. Like, this is all just a dream. I'm gonna wake up and, she's gonna be good. She's gonna she's gonna send me funny cat TikToks because she was always on her TikTok. But sadly, that wasn't reality. So I ended up going home. I fell into a really deep depression. I was emotionally numb. I'm so thankful for Allie because she was there for me through the entire thing. I love you, Allie. I love you so much. Um, she's been my emotional support through this whole situation. In case you didn't know, I've known Allie since I was 10. She's been my, she's been there through thick and thin for me, and I've been the same. Sorry, my cat's sniffing my face because I'm crying. But she was there for me, and it was just horrible. So Mom ended up passing November 10th, 2024. That's how fast she declined. She went from being diagnosed July 29th, 2024 to passing away November 10th, 2024. So I found out the other day that we finally figured out a time and date for her celebration of life. So I'll be going back to Ontario for a bit in June. So I hope you guys really don't mind me taking a break for a while just to gather all my stuff, like gather all my thoughts. And I know I haven't posted in like forever. It's just I haven't been okay, and I don't know. I just need time, I guess. I don't know when I'll start uploading again, or even if I will start uploading again, because as I've said, I've lost all motivation to do anything. I can't. Like, I've been too heartbroken lately, and it's still hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that my mom is gone, and I keep thinking that I'm gonna get a message from her, and everything's gonna be okay. Like, it still feels like she's around, but I know she isn't. So, yeah, thank you guys for understanding, and I'm sorry if I made you cry with my story, but I figured you guys should know. But, yeah. Thank you everyone for all your love and support, and, special thank you to Allie for being there for me, and all my other friends for being there for me through this entire situation. I love and appreciate all of you.
So I'll see you guys later, I guess. I don't know. If you want me to post updates about how I'm doing on my community, please let me know. I will. As of right now, I'm just focusing on myself and getting all my thoughts together and just trying to sort everything out. So, thank you for listening to my story. Feel free to comment if you have any similar stories or like just whatever you want. But, yeah, thank you.